So after you realize in business what your passion is, what your why is, the next step you got to realize, once you're sure of that industry that you would want to be in, how do you learn the industry? A lot of the times when we come into business, we see someone doing something, we're like, wow, this person is making a bunch of money. Let me go try and get into that field. Or wow, I'm passionate about making cakes. Let me go ahead and pursue a business. I have a personal theory that has worked out for me, especially when it goes back, again, going to the juice bar example. What made me successful in that field was I decided to get a job in the juice bar field to learn the in and outs of a business. It's very different for you to have a passion about something or just think that you're gonna make money in a certain industry. But if you don't know the in and outs of how that infrastructure works, you're not gonna be successful. Again, it's a business. You have to understand, how am I gonna get sales? Who am I marketing to? How does this business work? How are my employees paid in this type of business? And how do I maximize in this business? The only way for you to successfully realize that, you could read a bunch of books, you could go on YouTube, you could do all that information. It's great information to do that, right? But you gotta get some hands-on experience. You got to be able to say, all right, let me go into, if I'm going to be in a merch line, let me go get a job at Macy's or at Foot Locker for 6 months and let me learn how this works. Let me learn how the warehouse works. Let me learn how the infrastructure works. What are chargebacks, right? Because every industry, not any business is going to be all pros. You're going to have a lot of cons. The best thing and the best preparation you could do to be in that field is learn these cons, learn how to master them, learn how to expect them, learn to see them coming. And the only way you could do that is by working in the field. The minute you get to tap into that, you'll be able to personally grow to a level and perfect the business you worked for and perfect that passion or that idea that you have. You can make it a lot more effective. Again, look at it as if you're investing that time into yourself. You're becoming more knowledgeable in that field. And that should be part of your business, structuring your business plan. I figured out my why, I'm passionate, I know I want to do this. Now let's go learn that industry. Let's go have this part-time job. Let's go watch some YouTubes. Let's go get our hands dirty and understand what that industry takes, the amount of time it's going to take me to learn it, and how can I possibly be the most successful in this business field. And the only way you're going to get that is by learning. You got to go and get that job. You got to go and do that craft, and that's how you're going to become better. I've had personal experiences in businesses that I've created, that I've gotten the job and learned about it, and ones that I didn't get the job and it was a complete nightmare. For instance, when I opened my convenience store, I never knew the industry. I said, hey, listen, a convenience store is good. I'll have a good cash flow. I'll be able to see clients every day and produce money. But I didn't realize how much time it takes. I was spending 16 hours a day in there. It was one of the experiences that I had in my life that I feel like I didn't prepare for the best. Right? I went into it having the proper investment to scale the business and thinking that I was gonna make money and have the cash flow. But when I slept on or didn't realize was that I didn't know how this work day to day goes, which is something about business, right? You could think of a great idea or think, hey, I wanna do a 7-Eleven. Do you know what it is to work in a 7-Eleven? You gotta be there 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, at least for the first year for you to make your return on investment. The only way you're gonna realize that is by actually getting your hands dirty and getting work experience in the field in which you want to do business. In the contrary of that, before I opened the juice bar, I worked in a gym juice bar and I learned how the infrastructure of the business worked. I learned the waste, I learned the time, I learned how to pay employees, and that gave me a leverage and allowed me to scale the business where most businesses, in order to expand, you have to wait about 5 years. Being that I had the experience, because I decided to get my hands dirty and learn it and get that part-time job, I was able to scale in 2 years because I already went into it ahead of the game. And that's an opportunity we all have in business. All right, you got your passion, you understand what you want to do, what you're good at. Now let's go learn the field, right? Let's go learn it. Let's go see what the client is like. Let's see what these work hours are like. Let's see what the workload is like. Because sometimes you may just not be one, you just don't want to do it. You may be passionate, think it's a good idea, or think it's going to make you a lot of money. But if you don't want to do that job every day, if you don't know that job every day, if you don't know what to expect, I guarantee you're going to have a hard time scaling that business, growing. And that's when we jump into the things where we lose passion, we get a little lazy, we get discouraged, and you want to stay away from that. So my opinion and my second step, once we figure out the why, is let's go get a part-time job in that industry. Let's go see what it's about. Let's go learn it. And once you pass that, you're halfway there, right? Because you already know the passion, you know you want to do it, you got work experience, it's go time now. Right? Now you're able to scale. Now you could dive into that field and you could jump into the next processes and grow in your business. One of the things to also remember about business is you're your own judge, right? Use your personal experiences to help you tap in to making a proper or correct business choice. And that comes to if you have a job before, right, in your personal experience, and you know you didn't like that job. Let's say you worked at Foot Locker and you know you dislike the job. Don't get into the merch industry, right? Because even though it's your own brand, your day-to-day job is gonna be most likely what you did in Foot Locker. You have to really dig deep and understand, what are my personal experiences? What am I good at? How good was I at them? And am I able to do this every day? Business is a repetition of doing the same thing every single day consistently. And if you can judge your personal experiences where you were successful at doing that, that's gonna change the game for you. Because you're going into something knowing I got the work ethic, I could do this, let me get the ball rolling. You know your why, right? You already have the work experience. Now you have the personal experience that you're using as leverage to know that this is where you're gonna go. You're setting yourself up to win. Because it's work at the end of the day. Yes, it's business and people like the tags, the CEOs and all this thing, but it's a day-to-day work. You gotta work every day. It's no business where you kick up and it just works and makes you money. That's a lie, that does not exist. You have to put in the work. And that's something that you're gonna be the best judge of that because you know yourself. The minute you tap into that, after you figure out your why, after you learn your industry, is that personal experience. And that's golden. You can't take that nowhere else, right? You got to use your time invested and use that to your leverage. Use that to your knowledge. Understand, this is what I can do. This is where the personal experiences that I had that I was good at. Now let's use that time invested in my life and let's maximize and make this money. And that's where we can help.